It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
All right, Brian, this next question, this is from Matthew. Matthew said, I'm 30 and getting married this year.
Congratulations.
How would you split saving for a larger home versus investing for the future, especially when we're unsure what our family size/needs will be when the time comes? So here's what I don't know about Matthew. Is he in a home and he's saving for a bigger home, or are he and his soon-to-be spouse just saving for their first home? And when it comes to buying homes, Brian, do you go ahead and buy the house that's going to have the 2.5 kids and the dog with the white picket fence, or is there another way that you think about? How would you talk to a young person thinking about getting married, starting a family, and buying a house, and how does that correlate with how they're saving now and how they should be saving?
Yeah, so I'm going to assume for Matthew, because he's 30, getting married. The Daniel's pulled the research for us in the past. The age for the typical person buying their first home is around 33.
33, that's right.
So this is going to be one of those interesting things. They got a marriage coming up, pretty exciting stuff going on here, and this is very much a messy middle type discussion topic. And you're like, okay, I know my army of dollar bills is so powerful. I've seen the 88 times over. I've seen, the money multiplier on moneyguy.com/resources, so I can find out, taking my age, figure out how much the multiplier on every dollar that I invest is. This is super important, but man, we need a house. We need shelter. How do you balance these things within the financial order of operations? And this is why I think we're so unique among financial pundits or advisors and other things, is because there's a dirty little secret of the financial world that, if you watched YouTube channels and you watch financial advisors talk, you'd think they're all out there saving up 20% and putting down 20%. And then, and it's a happy world that works that way with no PMI and everything else. The reality is, when I walk the halls here and I ask other financial advisors, and I even think about myself, I didn't put down 20% on my very first house. Mm-mm. I put down 5% on my very first house. And I think there's even deals where you can get 3% down on your first house.
3.5 on my first house.
So I think that's the dirty little secret. Now, look, you only get this exception on your very first house. Now, hopefully, once you're on the house ownership train, through that appreciation, your next house, when you upgrade, you're going to put down 20%. So that's the first thing, because I don't want you necessarily, and I'm very flexible on this, I don't want you shutting down all savings, because that employer match is just too powerful as a reason that it's step number 2 of your financial order of operations. But I understand that step 4, emergency reserves, is going to probably have some fold over or cross section there between that 3% to 5% that you're putting down on the first home to what's going on with your emergency reserves. Use that grace, use that extra money that's allowed there to make that decision where hopefully you're still being able to do that nice compromise in between, where you're still focusing on your army of dollar bills, but getting in that first house. Now, there is an asterisk on that. I know right now the housing market's ridiculous. And it seems like I read a post just last night on Twitter where this guy was saying there was this young couple had saved up 20%, was looking to buy the house next to him. And it looked like the deal was about to be locked down because they had, I guess, met before this hit the market. And then this out-of-state older couple comes in, does a full cash offer at 20% above even the asking price.
See it over and over and over.
The young couple just got completely left holding the bag. I hate that.
Yep.
I mean, and this is why I get so mad for young people right now, is that there are some weird distortions between institutional investors, between migration patterns in the country right now, that young people are getting the short straw when it comes to getting that first house. But I'm just telling you, and this is easier said than the reality, but I think it's going to settle down. There's already been, just this month, it was a release that new housing starts actually had some trouble in the last month, because I think some of this monetary hyperinflation, high inflation, is working its way through the system. Be patient. Don't lose your brain on due diligence and other things, because this season will pass. And that's something I know when I was, and this is not a perfect example, but I can remember I went to a friend's parents' second home, and I was like, how does this attorney afford this beautiful lake home? I'm just never going to be able to make enough money to do this. The time's getting away from me. Be patient, slow down. Don't lose your brain on this unique, because this too will pass.
Yep.
Just like market downturns, pass. Good financial concepts are pretty timeless. And it's funny. And I guess to finish off the story, I could afford those lake homes now, but when I was, in my early 30s looking at it,
seemed like it was never
it
possible.
seemed like it was not possible, but I just didn't have the foresight to see what was to come.
Yep.
And I think it's the same thing I would tell young people, even Team Crash here on my content team, is that I think that there will be an opportunity in the coming years.
I think so too. I don't think that we don't know what it'll look like or when it'll happen, but something will happen, right? Something will change to make opportunities available. It's just a matter of when and what.